I didn't record last week because there's the sharing part, and when we got started and I wasn't sharing my screen, I realized after it was all over that I had just paused the sharing and not started recording. So sorry about that. So yeah, if someone in your family doesn't know about Kirby Jenner, make sure to share. He's funny. So scale and proportion. I think this could go on to the topic that we had last week, which was focal point, because when we have scale to extremes, it's a way to uh, draw attention to your design. And if you got the angles right, you could make some things look a lot bigger. Just they could just be natural objects, but if you lined them up right with your camera, you could Photoshop. And so once again, we see these same paintings that are going to come up in every every chapter. So they're just I think one of the ideas of this is to show you how these different design ideas or the design principles are applicable to many so the same art could be applied to, or I mean the same principles could be applied to many different types of art and the same art. So this is interesting. This little thing, they've blown it up here, but this is only it's like 3.5 inches for this. What did they? Oh, this is on ivory. Somebody's done all this carving. So you can find things like this all over. So then we've got something in a park somewhere that looks giant, something that should be smaller. Now, this is interesting, and you may have other examples of this, but this is something that I'm so I'm not sure if someone did this recently or if this is of ancient, it says Nazca earth drawing. I think this is probably ancient stuff where somebody was doing something where they didn't think, well, maybe they thought they were aliens, or maybe they were just trying to draw pictures for the gods. But this is, and I think if this is an ancient one, there are places where they've done this, and in our world today, because we don't talk about gods so much, we aren't thinking that they thought they were aliens. But I don't. These ancient civilizations, I think they were probably trying to just draw art for a god. Now here with this, we're just showing different sizes of this. And so you can see how a close-up shot with these, you just make them smaller and uh, it gives the impression that they're farther away. Where this one looks like we're close up. We could get closer in on that. Because this one we're looking at, and it looks like it's close up, but then we have this or we pull back and it makes it look much larger than if we're just looking at the top one. So this is one that I like to talk about, this social insecurity. So what is the artist trying to do in this? So that's right. The people are far apart. Now, how is he getting that effect that the people are far apart?
He makes them pretty small and like I don't know, the contrast with the white light or background, I should say.
Right. Now, what about the detail? What is the artist doing with the detail?
I'd say it's minimal, like it's like you're far away from them.
Right. Now, the people in the foreground are darker and larger, and then I think Sky was alluding to this with the people in the back are smaller and also less defined. Everyone, there's really not a whole lot of definition in any of those people. And I think with the lack of detail, we have less. I'm trying to think of what we could call that. There's because of the less detail, we may care less about those people, and I think they're they're trying to the artist is trying to do that too. Just saying, we're not going to put detail into these people because we really don't care about them. Or he's saying that I'm looking at this one, trying to figure out. Almost makes me want to turn my head sideways to see if I can find more definition in that one. And then in this one, we've got something that's close up, and then they've just made these larger objects look like buildings in the background. It's an interesting idea to paint a lot of detail still in the background images as well as the foreground when we'd expect, because there's quite a bit of detail in that. We're not seeing all of it, but so this is an interesting concept is and you'll see this in older religious paintings where they've got the person that they're trying to be the most important be the largest in the painting, and then there's all these smaller people. And then this is interesting what the artist is trying to do with proportion here. I like how they're explaining in the as they're explaining about the painting, they put the size in here so you can see how big this, like this is a 2 foot by, I think it's 2 foot by 2 foot, a little bit longer, obviously. Oh, it's a little over 2.5 feet and then 3 feet. So yeah, the proportion in this, we look at that and, you know, at least for me, I think, oh, look, it's a doll's room with some regular sized things in them.
I put a link in the chat if you want to check it out. But there's a local artist that
So
experiments.
with the title personal values, what do you think the artist is trying to say with this?
I put a link in the chat. Are you able to hear me?
Are you able to hear Leon?
Oh, I guess not.
I mean, I can hear you.
Huh, that's interesting. Looks like he might be muted too. Oh, it looks like he's frozen too.
His screen is active. I don't know if you can hear.
Can you hear?
No, I don't hear
Oh,
anything
yeah.
from him. Hello,
Yeah.
sir? Oh, he's muted. It says that he's muted on Zoom.
Can any of you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now. Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I don't know what happened.
Yeah, sorry about that. I meant to paste that link, and also I had there was a point. So this is a local artist from Salt Lake or Utah, at least I don't know exactly where she is, but you can kind of scroll through your showing some of that perspective stuff with the paintings, and I just thought it was cool. She does a lot of perspective stuff with building little models and stuff, and I think it's pretty cool.
Oh wow. Oh, interesting. She's making these little rooms. Interesting. That's cool. I appreciate that. And thanks for making me aware that for some reason, my microphone died.
You're welcome.
So when I was muted, could everyone hear everyone else?
Yep.
Oh, it's funny. I'll go back and listen to it after it's over.
Yeah, that'll be funny.
So here's proportion with the human standard. We've got Leonardo da Vinci here. And then this is one of the things that I wanted to talk about. Someone mentioned in one of the other classes the rule of thirds, and it comes from this. Can anyone explain? They call this the golden section, or they call it in here the golden mean,
Fibonacci sequence.
the Fibonacci sequence. When this was first pointed out to me in a design class, like 30 years ago, it kind of blew my mind. And I've been fascinated with it ever since. How often the Fibonacci sequence, we see that in nature, just the 1, 2, 3, 5, 8. And it's interesting that as they do mathematical models with fractals, this turns up all the time. So
Yeah, it's like it makes up our universe. It's really interesting.
yeah, it is. It's just crazy that and I'll occasionally, and maybe I'm just drawn to it because I've been paying attention to it for so long, but it's really fun and then it's fun to know that in art, it's really important to understand the rule of thirds thing, and that these sections, and you could flip this around, but those sections of the painting are really the most important. That's where you're going to want to put what you want as a focal point a lot of times is into that space and draw people, just because it's happening in nature and it's something that we can't control. So here's where as artist is really taking advantage of that, the golden section or the golden mean, whatever we want to call that. But you put this right here and where you want to put the subject. And it's also, if you watch just regular TV, you'll notice that they never put the announcer right in the middle. They'll always put the announcer over to this side or over to the right or over to the left, just with that rule of thirds, because naturally we're more comfortable with things there. Oh yeah, and Sky, that's true. It's funny that this is really like a math problem, whole Fibonacci sequence.
Could you explain how, like, because I've heard people reference like a root 3 square or whatever, and I have no clue what that means.
I am not sure. I haven't, let's see.
Because I think it was in the this week's lecture video as well.
I am gonna have to do some research on that. I'm just gonna fall into the golden mean. So you can tell each one of these, this is one, this is one, this is the 2, the 3, the 5, the 8, the 13, the 21. So Dayton, each square makes up 1/3 of the previous. So you mean this one right here is 1/3 of this? Is that, Dayton, is that what you're talking about?
I don't know. It's just like I don't even really know what it means. I was just asking, but they call it like a root 3 or something like that's
I
their canvas size or something like that.
Oh, interesting. I will look that up and see if I can find some more on it. So
Right. Thank you.
yeah, and Dayton, I'll look up what you're talking about here too to see how that is relevant. Yeah, there's the geometry of root 5 in the golden rectangle. Divide the painting into 3 parts. Now, sometimes I wonder, they've got this showing here. Sometimes I wonder if the artist just naturally understood this and put it together, or if they tried to section, if they planned that out. I know artists today, because they understand the concepts there, will plan that out. But in 1427, I don't know. And then here we've got this car. And the picture's just framed well for that to pick up. Oh, so that's next week. So that's it for this week. Guess we've got short. I knew this is going to be shorter. And really the thing that I want everyone to explore a little bit farther, and I'll do the exploring on the root 3, the golden mean, is how often this shows up in nature, in shells and different things like that. This concept. A couple of years ago, I was looking into like solar and wind, and there was someone that was designing a windmill that was based on this idea, and I don't I haven't seen it anywhere else, and so I don't know if it's how well it worked out, but it was kind of cool to see that they'd used this for the windmill. They'd used a spiral that followed this golden section, and they said it was supposed to be the most efficient, but I haven't seen it anywhere else since then. It's just another good reference to go to nature when you're looking for design, see what nature is done out there with, as they've kind of, if they, as nature has designed things. So I, oh, let's see.
That's basically saying the same thing as the golden spiral, except there's a line that intersects with all that as it's happening.
Oh, right here. And right, the rule of thirds.
Well, I'm just thinking
Let's
of like that root 3 that he's talking about. I mean, I guess they're not rectangles though, so
Let's see. I was, there was a, I swear there's supposed to be a whiteboard, something that we could bring up and we could start drawing things, but I don't see that in my options of things to do. Because I can see where this line right here, that's one of the, but that's, I don't know. Yeah,
if you
those are
click
the,
on more at the bottom, the three dots of your zoom, there should be three dots that say more.
yeah, I'm looking at it and I don't,
There should be a whiteboard thing, or there is for me. I don't know
there is
why.
for you, but not
Yeah,
for me.
yeah.
Let's see.
I did have a quick question on the rule of
Okay.
thirds.
Okay, go ahead.
So I'm also in a drawing class, and someone in that drawing class told me about the Loomis method for drawing faces. Is that kind of the same thing? I know it's cutting the face into shapes, but is that kind of the same thing as the rule of thirds, or is the rule of thirds pretty much only to do with the Fibonacci sequence?
Well, the Fibonacci sequence and the rule of thirds kind of goes together, but I think what you're talking about with drawing the faces is, I think that's the same thing because there's a balance that goes into faces. Like I watched a documentary one time on how presidents are more popular because of how symmetrical their face is, which is which sounds strange. But I think that's where the Loomis method of drawing is they're trying to create that balance. And so, and I should look into that a little bit more, but I think that it's related, but I'm not sure how much. Because I'm it's funny, the art that I do is design art for websites, and then I do pottery. And so I don't do, and I sketch for all of those things, but I'm not very good at it. I'm looking here. We can I want to be able to flip that around. Yeah, so Leon, was it you that was talking about it or about the whiteboard? Can you bring up a whiteboard?
Yeah, I don't think that it allows me to, it says you cannot open a whiteboard during a screen share, and I think you have screen sharing turned off for us.
Hold on, let's fix that. Okay, I turned it on.
Oh, that's so funny now. Oh wait, it it went away from that menu, but now it's in a new menu, but it's when I click it, it says you cannot open a whiteboard during a screen share. That's really weird.
Hold on, I'll stop sharing. Let's see if I can get the whiteboard going.
Does that bring it up for you?
Oh yeah, I can see it now.
Yeah.
Wow.
Can you draw too, or is it just me? Can you click
Oh,
those
let's see.
things?
Sticky note. Oh no, I can draw too.
Oh, sweet. Well, I guess that's an option. You can have somebody else pull it up.
See, can everyone else draw in there too? Come on, everyone get in there.
Yeah.
Whoever drew Pikachu, I applaud you.
That's awesome.
This
We've
is
got
so fun.
This is what art class is all supposed to be about. Oh, this is funny with the. Oh, look at that. We've got graphs going too. Oh, you can put shapes. Oh, look at that. You can drop GIFs in there too. Oh, funny. Did the GIFs move for anyone else? When I dropped it on there, I thought it was moving, but I don't think it's.
After I double clicked it, it was able to move.
Oh, there we go. Is it moving for everyone else or just for me?
I can see it moving.
Okay.
If you have the like, I think you have to click the select button and then double click on it to have it move on your own screen. But
Mm.
Oh,
it
interesting.
works for me, and when I do that,
Yeah, I don't think it loops forever. You have to click it again.
That. Oh. And if you hold the space bar, and I don't know if it's moving it around, is it moving it around on everyone else's screen or just on my screen? If you hold the space bar down, it brings up a little hand and you can move things around.
I'm on my phone, so I don't really. It's not
Oh.
working like that for me, but
You might
Can-
be able to pinch because I think it's doing the same thing that the spacebar is essentially doing, but because you can also hit you can use the mouse wheel and zoom in and out, but or right click and move it around too.
okay, yeah. If I pinch, I can zoom in and out. Is that what we were talking about? I might have misunderstood.
Yeah,
Oh, and you
well,
can-
you might be able to like long press and push it, but like that's the idea of the spacebar gives you a hand to move it around.
And you can follow people. So if you click on there, you can see what they're doing.
Oh, that's fun. We're learning.
I've never experimented with a whiteboard before. We're gonna have to bring some more stuff in here. And then I want to see what happens when we record, because I had it on the speaker view and I wasn't sharing the screen, so we'll have to see. So, but that's it for today. I appreciate everyone jumping in, helping out with the whiteboard. That's kind of fun.
Cool. Well, thank you and have
So-
a good weekend.
Yeah, you too.
Yeah,
Thanks,
thank you.
everybody.